So in the first lecture, we saw the three main objectives of finance manager will be financing, that is bringing the money. So what is the cost of these finance? That is what we want to know. Second is where to invest the finance. You will have to choose the best available projects with the given available capital. And third will be your dividend decision, how much to pay to the shareholders. It will decide whether there is wealth maximization or not. Okay. So we are focusing on the first one right now, financing, bringing the money, source of finance. Okay. So these are our 5 sources of finance. Term loan. What is the cost of term loan? Cost of term loan, KT. Cost of term loan is KT. KT is what? KT is interest net of tax, right? Interest net of tax. Then comes equity shares, raising money from general public. So what is the cost of equity shares? It's the KE. Okay. KE can be with dividend model, dividend growth model. I hope you guys remember. Or in AFM, as they will commonly use, is the capital asset pricing model, CAPM. Okay. Next is your preference shares. Preference shares is nothing but KP. KP equal to PD by NP. PD by NP. Debentures. Debentures is what? It is like a loan from individual, but it has to be issued through a recognized stock exchange. So we have to compare that cost of interest with market value. So KD equal to interest net of tax 1 minus T, correct, upon NP. And retained earnings is cost of equity. So K is equal to KR. Okay. I hope you guys remember this. So let's quickly solve that problem of ours. WSCC problem. XYZ PLC issued 4,000 debentures amounting to 400,000, which are irredeemable. These debentures were issued at a discount of 15% and flotation cost of $5. Tax rate is 30%. Okay. So I'll drop an Excel sheet. I'll solve it in Excel. I'll solve this in Excel. So those who have not done it, you can do it right now also along with me. So first will be my KD. First will be my KD, cost of debt. So what is the formula for KD? KD will be interest 1 minus T I into 1 minus T divided by NP. Divided by NP. Okay. So for that, first I'll need face value. So what is my face value? 400,000 debentures. Sorry, 4,000 debentures amounting to 400,000. Correct. So face value will be what? 400,000 divided by 4,000. So that will be 100. Face value is 100. Next. These debentures were issued at a discount of 15% and flotation cost of $5. Tax rate is 30%. And what is the debenture interest cost? 4,000 12% debentures. 4,000 12% debentures. So interest will be 12% of face value. 12% of face value. So 12% of 100. So that is $12. Correct. Tax rate T is the tax rate. Tax rate is 30%. 30%. So 0.3. Okay. And then flotation cost is $5 and they were issued at a discount of 15%. Discount of 15%. So finally, I want to calculate my NP. What is the formula for NP? Face value minus discount. If it were premium, we would have added the premium. So less discount and less flotation cost. Less flotation cost. So face value is 100. Discount is 15% of face value. 15% of 100, 15. And flotation cost is $5. Okay, so this comes out to how much? This comes out to 80. Correct. NP comes out to 80. So KD is what? KD will be KD equal to interest. So what is the interest? 12%. So 12. Correct. Into 1 minus T. So into 1 minus 0.3. And this whole thing divided by 80 NP. So 0.105, or can I say 10.5%? 10.5% is my KD. Just check your answers. Put a yes if you're getting it. Put a yes in the chat box if you're getting the answers. I hope you guys are not sleeping in the afternoon lecture. I'm going to shift the lecture to the morning in next week. Okay, this week I'm already swamped with online lectures. I have enough online lectures this week as well. So next week I'll be getting free. So that time I can shift the afternoon sessions to the morning slot. Okay, so I can have you guys fresh and more interactive. So KD is done. KD is done. Second is what? Preference shares, KP. So second I want KP. KP equal to what? KP equal to PD by NP. PD by NP. So let us see then. XYZ PLC also issued 5,014% preference shares amounting to $7,50,000. So again, first I'll calculate my face value. Face value will be what? Face value will be $7,50,000 divided by 5,000. Okay, so that is how much? That is 150. 150 is the face value. Next, PD is 14%. Preference dividend is 14%. So 14% of face value. So 14% of 150. That is 150 into 14% into 0.14. 21. PD is 21. Next, these preference shares were issued at a discount of 10%, flotation cost of $4, tax rate is 30%. Tax rate is there just to be confused, just to confuse you guys. Okay, we got nothing to do with tax rate. Okay, so NP is same. Face value, is it premium or discount? Again, it is a discount. So face value minus discount and minus flotation cost. So face value is 150. How much is the discount? Discount is 10%. Discount is 10%. So 10% of 150, 15. Correct? And flotation cost is $4. It is $4. So 150 minus 15 minus 4. So NP is 131. NP is 131. So what is my KP then? So KP equal to PD by NP. Preference dividend 21 divided by NP 131. So 0.1603, or I can say 16.03%. Okay, so this was my first answer. This is my second answer. Okay, next. What do I need next? The company also issued 4,000 equity shares amounting to 600,000. Market rate of return, that is RM, is given. So market rate of return means RM is given 16%. 16%, correct? Then what they are given? Treasury bonds are issued at 9%. Treasury bond means what? Government security. Government security means what? Risk free. So that is 9%. Risk factor of the company in the market, that is your beta. Beta is how much? Beta is 1.53. Beta is 1.53. Okay. So what is the formula for K? K equal to RF plus beta into RM minus RF. Correct? So RF plus beta into RM minus RF. RM minus RF. Okay, so that is RF is how much? 9% plus beta is 1.53 into 16 minus 9. 16 minus 9. Correct? So that will be 9 plus 9 plus 1.53 into 7 into 7. What happened? $19.71. See if you are getting K equal to 19.71. Okay, so that is the answer for K. And last, company has taken a loan of $450,000 at 10%. $450,000 at 10% loan. So loan means what? KT. So what is the formula of KT? KT equal to interest net of tax. So I into 1 minus T. I into 1 minus T. So I is 10% into 1 minus 30%. 1 minus 30%. So that will be what? That will be 7%. So 7% is my KT. 7% is my KT. Okay. And last, company also had retained earnings of 200,000. Retained earnings means what? KR. So KR equal to, we already know KR equal to KE, and KE we had already calculated. So that is 19.71. So that is my KR. So I have got all the 5 individual cost of capital, correct? I have got all the 5 individual cost of capital. So what should I do now? I can make a working note of WACC. So WACC, source, amount, weight, cost, and weighted cost. So what was my first source? First source was debenture. Okay, then was my preference shares. I hope you guys are getting it. Huh? So I am assuming you guys don't have doubt. If you have doubt, you will raise the hand or put it in your chat box or put it in your WhatsApp group. Okay. So preference shares, then comes our equity, then comes our loan, and last comes our retained earnings. Okay. So debenture, what is the amount of debenture? 400,000. 400,000. Okay. Preference shares 750,000. 750,000. Then equity shares 600,000. 600,000. Then was my loan was 450,000. 450,000. And return earnings was 200,000. See, tax rate is not given in loan, but tax rate remains the same, right? Corporate tax rate is always going to remain same. Whether you are sourcing it from equity, whether you are sourcing it from debt, loan, debentures, tax rate is for the company. So corporate tax rate, if once tax rate is 30%, all the time tax rate will be 30%. Okay. So even if for loan tax rate was not separately given, we'll take tax rate of debt. Whatever was the tax rate of debt, same tax rate will take it. So take the total of these. So total will be how much? Total will be 24 lakhs. So weight will be what? 4 by 24. So 4 out of 24, correct? So this will be 4 by 24. What's happening? It's taking in January. So I'll take it 4 divided by 24. Something is wrong with my Excel, I don't know. Anyway, this will be 7.5 by 24, correct? So 4 of, I'll just write off 24. This will be 7.5 out of 24. Correct. This will be 6 of 24. This will be 4.5 of 24. And this will be 2 of 24. Okay. Cost we have already calculated now. What was our costs? So debenture cost was 10.5%. So I can just link it over here, 10.5%. Preference shares was 16.03%. Equity was 19.71%. Correct. Loan was 7% and return earnings was 19.71%. So weighted cost will be what? 10.5% into 4 lakh divided by 24 lakhs. Correct. This will be 16.03% into 7 lakh 50 divided by 24 lakhs. This will be 19.71% into 6 lakhs divided by 24 lakhs. This will be 7% into 4 lakh 50 divided by 24 lakhs. And this will be again 19.71 into 2 lakhs divided by 24 lakhs. Okay, so let us make this also percent. Okay, so our answer will come in percent. So that will give me the total of all these columns, will give me my WACC. So WACC will be sum of all of these put together. So 0.146, or I can say 14.6% is my final WACC. 14.64, let us take it as 14.64% is my final WACC. See if I got this right. Now, can you guys hear me properly? Okay. So see if you understood this 14.64%. How did we get that? Amount was given in the problem. Weight was amount divided by total. Cost we had calculated. So weight into cost. So 10.5% into 4 by 24 will give me weighted cost. The total of weighted cost is our WACC. Okay. That was the first concept of WACC. So today we'll do the AFM concepts now. We have to do our AFM concept where beta is not given. So in this case, beta was given. Okay, but if beta is not given, let us see how to do it. Okay, so now we'll start with a new concept called as asset beta concept. Asset beta. Asset beta means what? We have to calculate the new beta, okay, for the entire industry. So if the company is going to diversify its activity, company is going to diversify its activities, what happens? New industry equal to new risk, correct? New risk equal to new risk factor. New risk factor means what? New risk factor is nothing but your beta. And if beta changes, guys pay attention, oh, this is important. If beta changes, my equity changes, that is my KE changes. My KD does not change. My KD does not change. Sorry, not KD. New beta equal to new KE, and new KE equal to what? New KE equal to new WACC. Okay, so this is what we are going to calculate now in case of asset beta. Okay, so asset beta is used when company is going to diversify its activity. So in your question, whenever you find that the company is looking to diversify or company is looking to start a project in a new industry, you should by default start looking for beta factor, KE factors, and WACC factor. Okay. So step 1 in this asset beta. Now the good thing with ACCA, is they will give you the formula sheet. They will give you formula sheet even in the examination. So this asset beta formula is given to you in the exam. Okay, you don't need to mug it up, but I'll explain the logic. Of this asset beta formula. Okay, so now, like I said, new industry, new risk, new beta. So only KE changes. Why does not the KD change? Why does not the cost of debt change? Because bank does not care. Okay, bank does not care after giving the loan whether you are use the loan for manufacturing industry or your use the loan for software industry. So bank's expectation from you is fixed interest rate. Bank's expectation from you is the fixed interest rate. They don't care where you invest the money, correct? Unless it's in the legal investment, then they are happy with it. Okay, but equity shareholders will always care where you are investing their money. Okay, so expectation of equity shareholders immediately changes. Expectation of equity shareholders immediately changes as you start to diversify your activity. Okay, so that's why if you are diversifying, KE will change, but KD does not change. Okay, so now I'll give the formula over here. In the Excel, it will be easier for me to give the formula. So asset beta. Asset beta means what? So we'll denote it by BA. We'll denote it by BA. Asset beta means beta of the entire industry. Okay. Asset beta means beta of the entire industry. It is the beta of the entire industry. Okay. So formula of beta of asset is value of equity divided by value of firm, okay, into beta of equity just hear me out, guys, plus value of debt. But whenever I say debt will always have what? Debt will always have tax benefit. So value of debt divided by value of firm, don't write this, I'll explain it, into beta of debt, So ACCA guys will give you this formula. What formula they'll give? Value of equity into value of firm into beta of equity. Okay. And plus value of debt, but value of debt is always net of tax. Correct. Value of debt is always net of tax. So value of debt net of tax divided by value of firm into beta of debt. But we already know this beta of debt. Okay. Bank does not care where we are going to invest. Okay. So bank does not care about diversification. Correct. So the change in beta of debt is negligible. Beta of debt becomes negligible. Negligible means what? Becomes almost zero. It becomes negligible, that is almost zero. So anything into zero will be what? This is zero. So this entire side can be what? Totally ignored. So we can ignore beta of debt calculation. Okay, and therefore what is the formula for me? So my beta of asset will be what? Beta of asset will be value of equity divided by value of firm. Correct. Value of equity divided by value of firm, and the whole thing into beta of equity. That's it. That is my formula for beta of asset. Understood the logic? You don't need to do plus this thing. Okay. In the exam also you don't need to write all of this. Okay. It is understood that students are ignoring beta of debt calculation. Okay. So here value of equity means what? How do you calculate value of equity? You guys will answer me in the chat box. How to calculate value of equity? Does it mean equity share capital? Does it mean equity share capital plus reserves and surplus? Or does it mean current value of equity shares? Okay, out of these three things, what is the answer? Value of equity means, does it mean equity share capital? So this is your first option. Second option is equity share capital plus reserve and surplus. And third option is current value of equity shares. Yes, guys, tell me the answer. Second, equity share capital plus reserve and surplus. And what about the others? Others are sleeping or what? So value of equity will be third. Correct. Value of equity will be third. Current value of equity shares. So how do we calculate current value of equity shares? It will be number of equity shares. Number of equity shares into what? Into current market price per share. It will be number of equity shares into current market price per share. So third option will be correct. So that is how I'll calculate value of equity. Okay, that is how I'll calculate value of equity. I'll drop this out. So my value of equity will be number of equity shares into current market price per share. Okay. Now, how do I calculate value of firm? Value of firm will be what? Value of firm will be value of equity plus value of debt net of tax. Correct? Because value of debt is always going to be net of tax. And how do I calculate value of debt then? Value of debt will also become what? It is the current market value of debt. Okay. So whenever I say value, it means current market value and not the balance sheet value. Okay. They will purposefully give you balance sheet. I am not going to take balance sheet value as my value of equity or value of debt. Okay. And beta of equity, it will be also given in the problem. Beta of equity will be given in the problem. Okay. So see if you understood this formula, beta of asset. So beta of asset will be value of equity divided by value of firm into beta of equity. So where value of equity is number of equity shares into current market price, value of debt is current market value of debt. Okay. And value of firm will be what? Value of equity plus value of debt net of tax. And beta of equity is given. Okay. Yes. So coming back to our answer. So this is the formula. So step 1, where we want to find the asset beta. See what is the step 1. Step 1, find out asset beta of the new industry. Find out asset beta of the new industry by comparing the data of a standard company in the new industry. Find out asset beta of the new industry by comparing the data of a standard company in the new industry. So example, I wanted to start a company. I wanted to start a project in the software industry. So which is the standard company? So for software industry, standard company will be what? Infosys will be standard company. So for step one, when I'm looking at value of equity, when I'm looking at value of debt, when I'm looking at value of firm, whose value I'll calculate? I'll not calculate my company's value. I'll calculate standard company's value. Okay. So with the help of Infosys value, I'll find out asset beta of the entire software industry. So that is the step 1. Okay. Now asset beta remains same. For all companies within the same industry. Asset beta remains same for all companies within the same industry. So it will be same. Beta of asset will be same for Infosys and it will be same for my own company. Correct? So irrespective of the company, beta of asset still remains the same. So now again with the same formula, again with the asset beta formula, okay. Now I'll put what? I'll put own company data and find out beta of equity of own company in the new industry. And find out beta of equity of own company in the new industry. Okay, I'll make you go through this entire steps one by one when we take our example. Okay, so we are using the same formula in step 1 and step 2. Step 1 and step 2, we are using the same asset beta formula, but step 1, you will do it with standard company's data, and step 2, you will do it with own company's data. Correct? So now step 3, once you have got the beta of equity, so with beta of equity, what you will calculate? You will calculate K, because K equal to what? K equal to RF plus beta into RM minus RF. Okay. And once you have calculated K, what you will do? You will calculate your WACC. Are you guys not able to see the word file, is it? I think there is a time lag. There is a time lag between this. Okay. So I'll write all these steps over here. So step 1, what? Same formula we are using. Step 1, we are using the same formula, asset beta formula, but we are doing it with standard company's data. Step 2, again use the asset beta formula, but this time you will do it with own company data. Okay. Step 3, you will find out the K, and step 4, you will find out the WACC. Okay, write this down. So let us take an example so that it is more clear. It will give you more clarity. So XPLC is into manufacturing industry. XPLC is into manufacturing industry, where what happens? Where it has a beta of equity of 1.23 and WACC is 15%. It is now looking to diversify and start a project in software industry, where YPLC is a standard company. Okay. So value of equity. So I'll give data of XPLC and YPLC data. YPLC data, they have given value of equity is, let us say, 900 million. Okay. Value of debt also I'll give you in the first problem is, let us say, 530 million. Okay. Tax rate is 30%, and beta of equity is 1.43. Okay. And XPLC data is given as value of equity is 460 million. Okay. Value of debt is 350 million. Tax rate remains same for the entire industry, 30%. And now guys, pay attention. Can I take beta of equity as 1.23? Can I take XPLC's beta as 1.23? No, because XPLC has gone into new industry. If it has gone into new industry, what will happen? It will have new risk, so it will have new beta, correct? And old beta cannot be used. So even if they give old beta to you guys, you should just ignore it. Okay. And what about the WACC? WACC, again, I cannot use the old WACC. So I'll have to find new WACC. Again, old WACC cannot be used. Correct? So find, so calculate, not find, calculate WACC of X PLC in software industry if KD before tax is 10%, RM is 13%, and RF is 8.5%. Okay. So let us do this sum. Let us do this question then. So did you understand that why this is irrelevant? The first line becomes irrelevant because the first line was for old industry. I am not doing the project in the old industry. I am doing the project in the new industry. So old data will be irrelevant for me. And I only want the new data. I only want this new data. Okay. So I just copy this in my Excel. So we'll solve it over there. Okay. So that is all the data that we need. That is all the data that we need. Okay. So step one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to calculate asset beta. Okay. But using whose data? Using the data of which company? Using the data of, should I do it with X PLC or Y PLC? Yes, tell me. Correct. Using the data of Y PLC, using the data of the standard company, using the data of the standard company. So let us put in the data. Let us put in the data and let us put in our formula. So value of equity is already given. Y PLC value of equity is 900 million. Okay. Value of debt, they have given value of debt 530, but I don't want value of debt. I want what? Value of debt net of tax. Correct. I don't want value of debt. I will always want value of debt net of tax. So that will be how much? That will be 530 into 1 minus t. And what is the tax rate? Tax rate is 30%. So 0.3. So 530 into 1 minus 0.3, or I can say 530 into 70%. So value of debt is 371. So what will the value of firm be? Value of firm will be value of debt plus value of equity. So it will be 900 plus 371. 127 will be my value of firm. And beta of equity they have given. Y PLC's beta of equity I can use. What is the Y PLC's beta of equity? 1.43. So step one, beta of asset. Put this formula. So beta of asset equal to, beta of asset is equal to value of equity divided by value of firm into beta of equity. So beta of asset equal to, what is my value of equity? 900 divided by, what is my value of firm? 1271. Correct. And this whole thing into what? Into beta of equity, that is 1.43. So my beta of asset is 1.012. The beta of asset will be 1.012. So that is my step one. Beta of asset using data of standard company. Beta of asset using data of Y PLC. Okay. Now let us go to step two. So step two, again what I'll do? Step two, again I'll calculate beta of asset. Step 2, again I am going to calculate beta of asset, but now I'll use that using what? Using data of XPLC. So step 2, again beta of asset I'll calculate using data of XPLC. But now guys, pay attention, huh? Like I said before, beta of asset remains same irrespective of the company. So beta of asset here, beta of asset will already know. So what will be the beta of asset? It will be same as beta of YPLC, because beta of asset, beta of the entire industry remains same. So beta of YPLC is what? This is the beta. So 1.012 will be the beta of asset of YPLC. That will be the same as beta of asset of XPLC. Okay. How much is the value of equity? Value of equity is 460 million. 460 million. Correct. Next I want is value of debt, but value of debt I want net of tax. Value of debt I want net of tax. So that will be how much? 350 into 1 minus t. So into 1 minus 0.3. So value of debt will be 245. Value of firm will be what? Value of firm will be value of equity plus value of debt. And now comes the important part. What will be the beta of equity? That I don't know. That will become my balancing figure. Okay. So I'll just explain this once again. I'll just explain this once again quickly. So step 1, what I'm going to do? Step 1, I'm going to calculate beta of asset using data of the standard company. So which is the standard company? YPLC. Okay. So step 1, I've calculated beta of asset using YPLC. So that is what? Value of equity given 900. Value of debt is 530, but I want 530 net of tax. So 530 into 70%, because tax rate is 30%. So 371. Value of firm will be what? Value of firm will be value of equity plus value of debt net of tax. That will give me what? That will give me value of firm. And beta of equity they have given. Beta of equity they have given 1.43. So this whole data I'll put in my beta of asset formula. So that is value of equity divided by value of firm into beta of equity. So value of equity was 900 divided by value of firm was 1271 and into 1.43. That gives me beta of asset. Now I'll insert a new line over here. Beta of asset remains same irrespective of any company within the same industry. Okay, beta of asset remains the same irrespective of any company within the same industry. So when I started step 2, what I wanted to do? Step 2, I wanted to calculate beta of asset using data of XPLC. But like I said over here, beta of asset remains same. So beta of asset of XPLC will be what? Beta of asset of XPLC will be equal to beta of asset of YPLC, and that we already calculated over here. That was 1.012. So that remains same. Now I want to calculate XPLC remaining data. So value of equity is given 460. Value of debt I want 1 minus t. So that is 245. 350 into 70%. Okay. And value of firm will be what? Value of equity plus value of debt net of tax. So 460 plus 245, 705. And should I take beta of equity of X? No. Because why? Because now X is in new industry. So new beta of equity. And that is what we are going to find as our missing figure with the same formula. Okay. So now I'll put the same formula over here. Beta of asset equal to what? Value of equity divided by value of firm into beta of equity. So beta of asset. Now this side I know. So 1.012 should be equal to, what is the value of equity? 460, correct, divided by 705 and into beta of equity, I don't know, that will be missing figure. So this 465 705 will go over here, so this will become what? 1.012 into 705 by 460 should be equal to beta of equity. Okay, so beta of equity equal to 1.551. Beta of equity equal to 1.551. So if you guys have understood this, just check. So now what is this beta of equity? This is my new beta. This is my new beta. So step 3, what I'll do? Step 3, I'll calculate KE using the new beta. So I'll calculate KE using the new beta. What is the formula for KE? K equal to RF plus beta into RM minus RF. So K equal to, what is the RF given in the problem? RF is 8.5%, RM is 13%. So that will be 8.5% plus, now which beta I'll use? The new calculated beta 1.551 into RM was 13%. So 13 minus 8.5. So K equal to 8.5 plus 1.551 into, how much is that? 4.5 into 4.5. So K equal to 15.47. K is equal to 15.47. Okay, so you have got KE now. KD they have given. What they have given about KD? Pre-tax KD, KD before tax here. KD before tax is 10%. Do I want before tax KD or do I want after tax KD? I want after tax KD. So KD after tax. KD after tax will be what? 10% into 1 minus T into 1 minus 0.3. Correct? That will be what? That will be 7% will be my KD. 7% will be my KD. Okay. Now all I have got everything now. So now step 4 will be what? Step 4 will be my WACC. Source, amount, weight, cost, and weighted cost. But source, I know there are only 2 sources now. One is my equity, correct? And one is my debt. Okay. Now WACC, which company is WACC I am calculating? Of XPLC, huh? Because my company is XPLC. So WACC also I am calculating for XPLC. So equity, what was the value of equity? Value of equity for XPLC was how much? 460. So this is 460, correct? What is the cost of equity? We calculated cost of equity, K equal to 15.47. Debt cost was 7%. And what is the amount of debt? Don't take amount of debt net of tax. Take the original amount. Debt was how much? Value of debt was 350. Value of debt was 350. Why I am not taking 350 into 1 minus t? Because here at cost I have already done 1 minus t. Okay. KD, I have already taken KD after tax. I should not take debt also after tax. Otherwise, there will be two taxation benefits. So this debt, I have taken the entire debt. This I have taken the entire debt that was given in the problem. Okay. So this will be what? Total will be 460 plus 350. And weight will be what? Weight will be 460 divided by 810. 350 divided by 810. And this will be into cost. So WACC will be 11.81% will be my WACC. Debt 530. XPLC. We are calculating WACC of XPLC, right? We are calculating WACC of XPLC. So debt also of XPLC will take. So XPLC's value of equity was 460 and value of debt was 350. 530 was for YPLC. Okay. So equity as it is 460 and debt also 350 I have taken. I have not taken debt net of tax. Okay. Because here in cost I have already adjusted tax. So if I adjust tax again in amount, okay, it will have double taxation and government will not allow me to do that. See if you understood the WACC calculation. If any doubt is there, ask me. I can explain it once again, no problem. Okay. One more sum we'll try and then we'll do one AFM level question. Okay. So XPLC, right now it is in, let us say, education industry. Okay. And wants to enter into marketing industry. Okay. Yes, beta of asset is same for all industries or same industry. Beta of asset is same for all the companies within the same industry. Amal, beta of asset is same for all companies within the same industry. So that's why beta of X and beta of Y remain same. Beta of asset of X and Y remain the same. Okay. So XPLC is right now in education industry and wants to enter into marketing industry. XPLC, I'll just give in the data, value of equity value of debt, beta of equity, and WACC I won't give. So value of equity is value of equity of X. Let us take it as 320 million. Value of debt is 235 million. Okay, beta of equity 1.25. Okay, but this beta is useless for us. This beta is useless for us because it is the old beta. Correct? Now, competitor. Who is the competitor? Competitor is YPLC. YPLC, who has value of equity of 1200 million, value of debt of 900 million. Okay, beta of equity 1.315. Okay, and other data of XPLC. KD, post tax KD, I'll give. Post tax KD is 8%, RM is 15%, RF is 9%, and tax rate is 30%. Calculate WACC of XPLC. Calculate WACC of XPLC. Is the range problem? Your sound is getting blur. Cutoff sounds are getting to all of us. Now is it clear? Is it clear now? I think there is a network issue at my side then. There's a lag, is it? Yeah, I think there is a network issue from my side. Okay, you can see the problem right now. You can see the problem. Solve this problem then. What I'll do, I'll just take a screenshot and send it to you guys on the WhatsApp group also. I'll take a photo and send it to you on the WhatsApp group. Try the asset beta problem. Yeah, because now I was not talking, so sound was fully gone. I send the asset beta problem on the WhatsApp group. Try to solve this. Yes, post tax KD. Nitin, post tax KD means what? After tax KD. So KD is after tax, but value of debt. Have I given value of debt post tax? No. So value of debt is always supposed to be pre-tax. Until the problem specifically mentions post tax, then only I can take post tax. Otherwise, I'll always have to assume pre-tax. I'll always have to assume pre-tax. So step one, what you guys will do? Step one, beta of asset of which company? Of competitor, that is of YPLC. So beta of asset of YPLC. Is the sound clear now? Okay. I didn't do anything to clear the sound. I think it got automatically cleared. So let us take for YPLC. So YPLC, value of equity. Again, value of debt should always be net of tax. So if nothing is given, we will assume it is pre-tax. Always assume it is pre-tax. Beta of equity will need. Okay. And value of firm also will need. Value of firm also will need. So what is the value of equity? Now you can see the problem in your WhatsApp group. I don't need to go above and show it again in the Excel sheet. Okay. So YPLC, value of equity is 1200. Value of debt will be what? 900 net of tax, and tax rate remains same for all companies in the same industry. So 900 into 1 minus T. So that is 630. So value of firm will be what? 1200 plus 630. Amal, cost of debt is post-tax. Cost of debt is post-tax. Value of debt is not post-tax. Okay. Value of debt is different and cost of debt is different. Okay. Yeah. And beta of equity of Y is also given. Beta of equity of Y is 1.315. So now I can calculate my beta of asset. Beta of asset equal to value of equity divided by value of firm, and the whole thing into beta of equity. So value of equity is how much? 1200 divided by 1830, and this whole thing into beta of equity. So into 1.315. So beta of asset is 0.86. Beta of asset is 0.86. Okay, again I'll add the same line. Beta of asset remains same for all companies in the same industry. All companies in the same industry. So step two, what I'm going to calculate? Beta of asset of XPLC. Okay, but due to this line, beta of asset we already know now. So beta of asset of X will be equal to beta of asset of Y, that is equal to 0.862. Correct? That remains same. Now value of equity. What is excess value of equity? 320. Value of debt, again here also value of debt is given, so I need value of debt net of tax. So 1 minus T. So value of debt is how much? 235 into 1 minus T. So I can directly do 70% also. 164.5. Value of firm will be addition of these two. And beta of equity I don't know. Beta of equity will become my balancing figure. Beta of equity will become my balancing figure. So put this in the formula, same formula. Beta of asset equal to value of equity divided by value of firm into beta of equity. So beta of asset we already know now. 0.862 should be equal to so 0.862 should be equal to, what is the value of equity? 320 divided by 484.5 into beta of equity. So the doubt is X company and Y company are in different industry. Yes, previously they were in the different industry, but due to diversification, X has come into the same industry of Y, right? X was previously in a different industry, but now there is diversification, and when X starts a new project in the same industry, what will happen? Beta of asset will remain same. Okay, yes. So now beta of equity will be what? Beta of equity will be 0.862 into, take the reciprocal, so 484.5 divided by 320. So beta of equity equal to 1.30. Correct. Beta of equity is 1.30. Now with that beta of equity, what we will do? We'll calculate KE now. K equal to RF plus beta into RM minus RF. RM minus RF. Okay. So K equal to, what is the RF? RF was 15% plus beta is 1.3, 1.305. Take this as 1.305 into what was my RM? Oh, sorry, RF is 9%. RF is 9%. RM is 15% minus 9%. So K equal to 9 plus 1.305 into 6. So 16.83% is my KE. 16.83% is my KE. And KD already they have given post tax. KD already they have given post tax. So I don't need to do 8 into 1 minus T. So KD I can directly take it as 8%. And step 4, I'll calculate WACC. Source, amount, weight, cost, and weighted cost. So again, only two sources, equity and debt. Now WACC we are doing for XPLC. WACC we are doing for XPLC. So equity of XPLC is how much? 320. Debt is 235. So weight will be 320 by 555. Weight will be 235 by 555. Cost we have calculated now 16.83 and 8. So weighted cost will be what? This amount into this amount. Okay. So my total WACC will be sum of these two. 13.09% is my WACC. 13.009% is my WACC. Okay. So now let us start doing a AFM level question. Let us do a AFM question, AFM level question on this. So I'll send that problem also on the group. So for a 50 marks section A question, okay. So only question on WACC will not come. WACC will be a small part of that question. Okay. So for a 50 marks question, this part that I'm going to send you will have almost 10 marks. It will almost have 10 marks. So let us see. I'll open it up here as well. and I'll send it on the group as well. I sent the problem on the group. Let us see. Everyone got it? On the WhatsApp group, I've sent it. And I have opened it over here as well. Okay. Sleep On Hotels Incorporation owns a successful chain of hotels. The company is considering diversifying its activity through the construction of a theme park near its capital city. So its old industry is hotel industry, and its new industry will be your theme park industry. So diversification means what? New beta, new KE, new WSCC. As Sleep-On has no previous experience of theme park management, it has investigated the current risk and financial structure of the closest domestic theme park competitor, Trilal Incorporation. So Trilal Incorporation is my standard company. Trilal Incorporation will be my standard company. Non-current assets they have given, current assets they have given, equity reserves they have given, long-term debt they have given, and current liabilities they have given. Okay. Other information. Sleep-On has an access to 450 million euro loan at 7.5% fixed rate to provide necessary finance for the theme park. So now guys pay attention. Huh? This is for Sleep-On they have given. Sleep-On has a 450 million euro loan at 7.5% fixed rate. Means what? They have given KT, correct? KT interest 7.5%. So can I say KT equal to I into 1 minus T? So 7.5% into 1 minus T will give me what? Will give me cost of term loan. So that first point is for KT. Corporate tax rate is 30%. So KT is what? 7.5% into 1 minus 30%. So that will give me KT. Next. Average stock market return is 10% and risk-free rate is 3.5%. So that also you guys know what is that? Average stock market return and risk-free rate means what? RM and RF is given. RM is 10%, RF is 3.5%. Sleep-On's current WSCC, current they have said, current WSCC means what? Hotel industry WSCC is 9%. I don't care about that. I don't want current WSCC. I want new WSCC. Sleep-On's market weighted gearing, if the theme park project is undertaken, is estimated to be 61.4% equity and 38.6% debt. So they have not given value of equity and value of debt, but they have given the ratios. Ratios can be directly used as value of equity and value of debt. So value of equity, I can say value of equity is 61.4 and I can say value of debt is 38.6. So even if value of equity and debt is not directly given, I can use the debt equity ratio for that. Sleep-On's current equity beta is 0.7. I don't want that also. I want new equity beta. Okay. Current share price of Sleep-On is 148 cents and that of Trilal is 386 cents. So that is $1.48 and $3.86. Trilal's medium and long-term debt comprises long-term bonds with a par value of $100, but the current price of $93. And Trilal's equity beta, the competitor's equity beta is 1.45. Calculate Sleep-On's WCC for theme park industry. Okay. So what is the problem over here? Can someone tell me? What is not given? Okay. So I need what? I need own company data, and I also need competitor data. Correct? Who is the own company? Sleep-On is the own company, and Trilal is the competitor company, correct? So own company, what all data I need? I need value of equity, I need value of debt net of tax, correct? And value of firm, and obviously I need beta of asset also. Okay, beta of asset will be same as your beta of asset of Trilal company, correct? Beta of equity I cannot take. Beta of equity, I want a new beta of equity, and WACC also I want new WACC, correct? Here value of equity I'll need, value of debt net of tax I'll need, value of firm I'll need, beta of equity I'll need, and WACC I don't want because they have not asked WACC of Trilal. Now let us see. Tell me, slip-on company's value of equity. Is it given? Slip-on company's value of equity. Tell me how much is it? So let's fill in these blanks first. Okay, let's fill in these blanks. Then only we can start with our problem. Put it in your group chat. Put it in your group chat. Slip-on company's value of equity. How much is it? Correct. Debt equity ratio. I can take debt equity ratio. So I can directly write 61.4 is the value of equity. Okay. And value of debt is how much? 38.6. But I don't want 38.6. So I'll write 38.6 into 1 minus T. So into 1 minus 0.3. So 27.02. So if value of equity, value of debt is not given, I can directly take debt equity ratio as value of equity and value of debt. That is what I've done over here. So value of firm will be what? 61.4 plus 27.02. Value of firm will be 88.42. Okay. Now, beta of equity that we can find in our steps. WACC we can find in our steps. Now comes the main part. Tell me value of equity of Trilal company. Read the problem carefully and tell me value of equity of Trilal company. Debt equity ratio is not given. Debt equity ratio of Trilal is not given. So I want you guys to tell me value of equity of Trilal. They have given the balance sheet. Yes, guys, tell me what is the value of equity of Trilal company. Is it $400, $400 million, $386 million? Okay, so let us see. Let us see. So value of equity means what? Okay, 400 and 386. Correct. Value of equity we can calculate with the help of number of shares into market price per share. I had told this formula, right? If value of equity is not directly given, you can take it as the current market value. So number of shares. How much is the number of shares? So I'll write number of shares. So the formula is number of shares into MPS. So if you look at the balance sheet of Trilal, $1 ordinary shares amounts to 400 million. Correct? Means what? $1 for one share. So that means I have 400 million shares into what is the current market price of Thrilal's share? Current market price of Thrilal's share. See if you can find it. correct? 386 cents. They have given 386 cents. Fourth line from the bottom. Fourth line from the bottom. Current share price of Sleepon is 148 cents, and that of Trilal is 386 cents. 386 cents means what? $3.86. So that is my value of equity. So value of equity will be 400 into 3.86. Okay, 1544. Okay. Abdul, see what you have done. It is 400 into not 0.386. Huh? It will be 3.86. Now, similarly, what is the value of debt? Value of debt will be what? Value of debt should be your. So first let us just find value of debt, and then let us do value of debt net of tax. Okay. So first just tell me what is my value of debt, and then we can find value of debt net of tax. So again, value of debt means what? Current value of debt. And whose value of debt we are talking about? Trilal companies. Sleepon's value of debt we don't want. You want Trilal's value of debt. 460 Amal, that is the balance sheet value. Is it the current value? 460 million is the medium and long term debt, but that is the balance sheet value. What is the current market value? Read the third line from bottom. Read the third line from bottom. Trilal's medium and long term debt comprises long term bonds with a par value of 100. That is, when it was issued, it was at 100. But what is the current market price? Current market price is 93. Correct? So when it was issued, it was 100, and that time the value was 460 as per balance sheet. But current value is what? Current value is 93. So for 100 it was 460. So for 93 it will be how much? See guys, if you understood this. Okay. So book value or par value, I can say. Book value is 100, which amounted to what? Which amounted to 460 million. But current value is not 100. Current value is 93, which will amount to how much? So that will be, value of debt will be 460 into 93 by 100. So 427.8. Okay. Take it as it is because it is in millions. Take it as it is because it is in millions. But I don't want value of debt. I want what? I want value of debt net of tax. So it will be what? 427 into 1 minus T. So 1 minus tax rate, 1 minus 0.3. 299.46 is value of debt. And value of firm will be what? It will be value of equity plus value of debt net of tax. That is why this is AFM level question. Nothing will be given to you. Everything you will have to find out. See if you understood it. If you don't get this right, if you don't get value of equity and value of debt right, step 1 will be wrong, step 2 will be wrong, step 3 wrong, step 4 wrong. No marks for the steps. You are losing out entire marks allotted to WSEC. So in a 50 marks question, you have lost 10 marks. In a 50 marks question, you have lost 10 marks if you don't get these two right, value of equity and value of debt. Is it very clear? See if it is very clear. Next, bit of equity. Trilal's bit of equity. It is directly given. Trilal's bit of equity is directly given. 1.45. It is given in the problem. 1.45. It is given in the problem. Now finally we can start our problem. Now we can start with our steps. Okay. Should I start? So step 1, beta of asset. Whose beta of asset? Trilal company. Beta of asset of Trilal company. So beta of asset equal to value of equity divided by value of firm into beta of equity. Now I have every figure. Now I have all the figures. So beta of asset will be value of equity. What is value of equity? 1544 divided by what is the value of firm? 1843, and this whole thing into beta of equity. What was my beta of equity supposed to be? 1.45. So beta of asset is 1.21. So in short, what is the meaning of this? So beta of asset of any company in theme park industry, correct na, will remain same. Okay. So beta of asset of any company in the theme park industry will remain same, 1.21. So when we start with step 2, what step 2 is? What? Beta of asset of sleep on company, own company, sleep on hotels. So beta of asset of sleep on will be equal to beta of asset of Trilal will be equal to 1.214. Okay. So now put it in the formula. Beta of asset equal to value of equity divided by value of firm into beta of equity. So 1.214 should be equal to, what is the value of equity? Value of equity of sleep on was 61.4, correct? Should be equal to 61.4 divided by value of firm was 88.42 into beta of equity into beta of equity. So beta of equity equal to 1.214 into 88.42 divided by 61.4. 1.74, or we can say 1.75 also, or let us take 1.748. 1.748, that is my step 3. Sorry, that is my step 2. Step 3 will be what? K. So K is how much? K equal to RF plus beta into RM minus RF. See in the question, what is the RM and RF given? Other information, third line. Other information, third line. Average stock market return is 10% and RF is 3.5%. And beta now we have found out. So K is equal to RF is 3.5 plus beta is what? 1.748 into RM is 10 minus 3.5. So that is 3.5 plus 1.748 into 6.5. So K is 14.862. K is 14.862. And KT also we have. KT is what? KT is equal to I into 1 minus T. I into 1 minus T. So what is the term loan? What is the cost of term loan? Other information, first line they have given. Sleep-on has access to 450 million euro-dollar loan at 7.5%. So interest is 7.5% into 1 minus T. 1 minus tax rate is what? 30%. So 5.25% is my cost of term loan. And step 4 will be what? Step 4 will be my WACC. Source, amount, weight, cost, and weighted cost. So WACC, whose WACC we are finding? We are finding slip-on company's WACC. So source is what? Equity and loan. Equity and loan. Loan, that is debt. Amount they have not given, but they have directly given weights, right? Percentage they have given. So 61.4% and 38.6%. Correct? They had not given the amount, but weights they had given, so we can directly put it as weight. So weight will be what? They have given the weight. And cost we have taken, cost is 14.862. So weight is 61.4%. This will be in percent. 38.6 will also be in percent. 5.25. So weighted cost will be 14.682 into 61.4. So WACC will be 11.15%. 11.15% will be my WACC. See if you understood all of this. This is not a 50 marks question. This will be a 10 marks part in a 50 marks question. This will be a 10 marks part in a 50 marks question. But again, these 10 marks are very important for you, because without this, you cannot discount your NPV calculation. For NPV, for calculating NPV, you need a discounting factor, right? Discounting factor is nothing but your WACC. Okay, let us move ahead then. Everyone has understood this? If you understood and you want me to move ahead, put a yes. Okay. So one more kind of a WACC can be asked to you guys in AFM. Let us focus on that also. So we have done normal WACC. Okay, we have done normal WACC. We have done WACC with asset beta calculation. WACC with asset beta calculation. And one more kind of a WACC is asked. That is simpler. That is simpler. It is your risk adjusted discounting rate, or they will call it as RADR. It's there in your syllabus as a separate topic. So risk adjusted discounting rate, that is your RADR. Very easy. This is very easy. So you don't need to worry about this. You don't need to actually calculate the beta for this like above. In the above statement, what we did, we actually calculated the beta. Correct? We actually calculated the new beta. Here you don't need to do that. Okay, but in this RADR, you have to compare between three industries. Compare between three industries. Okay, that is the old industry, new industry, and the industry which gives absolutely risk free returns. Means which industry? Means nothing but your government. Okay, so here we will involve government as well in our calculation. In RADR we will have to involve government also in our calculation. Okay, so I'll just give a table. I'll just give a simple table, so in a tabular form it will be easier for you guys to understand. Okay, okay, so let us say again the same example: manufacturing industry, okay, software industry, and government sector. Okay, your returns, or I can say WACC, returns factor, rate of return, and my beta. So manufacturing industry, the return was, let us say, 14%. Okay, software industry, we don't know what will be the WACC. Government industry, the returns were, let us say, 8.5%. Okay, here the beta is 1.45. They have not, software industry, the beta is 1.13, and here they have not given the beta. Okay, and what they will ask you to calculate WACC of software industry. Will you guys try it before I explain this concept? Will you guys try this with the given data? Just try it. See if you can think about anything. See if you can think an answer. So with this data, you can do it. So I'll take it on the next page. I'll take this on the next page. Oh, try this question. Calculate WACC of software industry. You cannot directly cross multiply between manufacturing and software. Huh? You cannot say for 1.45 it was 14%. So for 1.13 equal to how much? Because you are comparing between three sectors now. So you have to consider government sector also in the comparison. That is the hint I am giving you. Okay. See, if you are comparing between three industries, which is the common industry where nothing will change? Government sector is a common industry where nothing will change, because always government sector beta will always be what? Beta will always be 0. Government sector beta will always be 0 because government sector is risk free, and return will always be 8.5%. So government sector will always remain common. So when you are comparing between three things, what you will do? You will compare between old industry, and government. Correct? That will be a step one. Step one will be compare between old industry and government. Okay. And step two will be what? Compare between new industry and the government. Compare between new industry and the government. Okay, let us see. Let us see. So first, let us compare between old industry and government. So between we are right now we are comparing between what? We are comparing between manufacturing industry and government. We are comparing between manufacturing industry and government. Okay. So now tell me, what is the change in beta? What is the change in beta? 1.45 minus 0, that is 1.45. And what is the change in returns? Change in returns will be how much? 14% minus 8%, that is equal to 6%. Is this clear what I did? So step one, I have just compared between old industry, that is manufacturing industry, and government sector. So government sector beta was 0 and manufacturing sector beta was 1.45. So what is the change in beta? The entire 1.45. Oh, sorry, this is 8.5%, right? Okay. So this will be 5.5%. Government sector, what is the return? 8.5%. Manufacturing sector, the return is 14%. So change in return is 5.5%. So I can say for a change in beta, of 1.45, change in return is 5.5%. Correct? For a change in beta of 1.5, change in return is 5.5%. Okay. So that is the first thing. That is for step one, compare between old industry and government. Now, similarly, same kind of comparison I'll do between what? New industry and government. So what is the change in beta? Change in beta will be what? 1.13 minus 0, that is 1.13. Change in beta is 1.13 minus 0, 1.13. What is the change in return? I don't know. I don't know the change in return because I don't know how much is it for software industry. Correct? I don't know how much is the change in return. Okay. So now see, now I'll compare these two. Okay, I'll compare step one and step two. So let us draw one more table, so it will be easier for you to understand. So change in beta and change in returns. So for the step one, what is the change in beta? Change in beta was 1.45. For that, change in return is what? 5.5%. And here what is the change in beta? For 1.13, change in return is not known. You can cross multiply and find out the change in return. Yes or no? So you can cross multiply and find out the change in return. Correct? So change in return will be what? Change in return will be 1.13 into 5.5 divided by 1.45. So 1.13 into 5.5 divided by 1.45. 4.28 is it? Change in return is 4.28. Now guys, pay attention. Change in return. So this change in return is 4.28. So what will be the new return? It will be government return plus change in return. So government return was how much? 8.5% plus change in return is what? 4.28%. So that is what? 12.78% is my final answer. So WACC of software industry is 12.78%. And that I'll call it as what? That I'll call it as risk adjusted discounting rate. That will be called as my RADR. See if you understood this. Simple cross multiplication, okay? But I just did this cross multiplication after the first two steps. So compare government and manufacturing, then compare government and software, and then do a simple cross multiplication that will give you change in return. But that is not my final answer. Change in return is 4.28. So new return will be what? Original return. That is government return is always the original return. So government return plus change in return. So that gives me my RADR, risk adjusted discounting rate. Okay. Do one on your own then now. Now this is very simple. Now you'll get the next one easily. Okay. XPLC is in education industry with a beta of 1.157 and return of 9.25%. Now it wants to enter into entertainment industry where new beta will be 0.983. Calculate WACC if risk-free rate of return means what? Means government return. Risk-free rate of return is 5.18%. Do it. So calculate WACC of entertainment industry. Calculate and put the answer in the chat box. Yes, what is the answer? 5.30. So step 1, we are comparing what? We are comparing education industry with government industry, that is risk-free rate of return. Okay. So change in beta will be what? 1.157 minus 0, because government sector always the return is 0. Sorry, the beta is 0, correct? And for that, what is the change in return? For that, change in return is 9.25% minus, what was the government return? Government return was 5.18%, correct? So 9.25 minus 5.18, 4.07, 4.07%. Step 2, change in beta will be how much? Change in beta will be new industry beta, that is 0.983 minus government beta, that is 0, that is 0.983. And change in return, I don't know. Change in return, I don't know that. So now we'll cross multiply. That will be how much? 0.983 into 4.07 divided by 1.157. Correct? So change in return is 3.45. Change in return is 3.45. So new return will be what? New return will be government return plus change. Government return plus change. So what is the government return? 5.18. 5.18 plus 3.45. 3.45. Okay. So 8.63 is correct. 8.63% will be my new return. That is my RADR. That is my RADR. Okay. So now we have covered all the concepts of WACC, normal WACC, WACC with asset beta, and WACC with RADR. Okay. Any of these WACCs, they might ask you, okay, and that WACC will become your discounting factor while calculating the investment appraisal. Okay. So this was a little bit about your AFM level questions. RADR and asset beta will be your AFM level question. Okay. So if you understood the sleep on hotel question, okay, do that again today if you want as a revision. You can do it today again as a revision. So tomorrow, what we are going to do, from tomorrow we are going to start with investment appraisal. That is the most important part in your syllabus. Investment appraisal. Generally section A 50 mark question will be on investment appraisal, okay, or hedging. Out of these two, your section A 50 marks question is going to be asked. So don't miss out any lectures from tomorrow. Okay. Again, investment appraisal, I'll start from right from the scratch. Okay. I'll start from payback period, discounted payback, and then I'll also cover AFM level questions like duration and modified duration. Okay. Then NPV, basic NPV, inflated NPV, foreign NPV, and AFM level adjusted present value and NPV with real options. Okay. So the next whole week, this whole week and maybe 1 or 2 days in the next week, we'll be focusing on investment appraisal itself. Okay. So I'll end the meeting now. See you tomorrow, same time. Tomorrow 3:30. And I thought today's interaction was a little bit lesser than yesterday, than Saturday. So don't eat too much. Don't eat too much before coming to the lecture. I want more interaction tomorrow. Okay. And tomorrow again, okay, you are busy with calculations. Okay, good, good. Yeah, because today I think we didn't discuss today much. We are totally into the problems today. Okay. So tomorrow you'll get the chance. You'll get the chance tomorrow for interactions. Okay. Stay home, stay safe. See you tomorrow.